Hey there, my friends, family, and ranch files. Doc Pierce here, and it is Thursday, July 17th, 2025. And yesterday I harvested a portion of the onion sets that I started growing last year. Wanted to show you what they look like and how they turned out. These are the red onions. They haven't been cleaned up yet. I'll sort them out and clean them up, but got a decent sized grocery bag out of that. Here's the yellow onions. Those turned out to be a little bit bigger. I still think they'll work. So I just did a small portion of those. This looks like I'm going to have a lot fewer yellow onions because they continue to grow, and I'll probably end up with more full-size onions from that side. So these are the full-size onions that are too large for sets. And did I say onion sets or onion starts? I guess different people call it different things, but these are the small onions to plant in the fall to get full-size onions in the spring and early summer. So these will all be diced up and tossed in the freeze dryer when I get it back from Utah. It's sent out yesterday for repairs for the second time. Not a happy story, but on a more positive note, we've got these wonderful onion sets. We're going to see about there's a local feed store here that was interested in carrying some last year. So I grew them, and I'm going to take them over there and see if they're interested in trying to sell them. So we'll see. Let me show you where they came from. So let's go over here and, oh gosh, this is getting overgrown, needs maintenance. I need some laborers to come help me. If I could find some people to work for free. What do they call those? Interns, yeah. Here's the onion patch. You can see that's the section right there that I took the red onions from. So maybe I got half of them out, that one bag. It's hard to tell with all these volunteer tomatoes that have come up and taken over. But you can see the yellow onions, they grew a lot faster and they're a lot larger. I'll get a lot more full-size onions out of here, but a lot fewer onion sets. So that's the next job, is to start harvesting all that. I took maybe, gosh, 10% of the yellow onions out. Just wanted to have some to show the feed store owner and see if they wanted more. Anyway, as long as we're here, I should give you a quick walkthrough of the high tunnel. It's probably been a few weeks. The kumquat tree's looking good. Got a lot of blossoms on there. That's a lot of fruit. And I took out the experimental broccoli and cauliflower. They just got moldy because there wasn't enough circulation with the net over there. So I pulled them out and planted some old potatoes that I had that actually went to starting to sprout. So they were too old to use, but I thought I'm going to throw them in the ground and see if they'll grow. So that's an experiment. Time will tell. You can see all these tomatoes here. These are all volunteers that came up. And sometimes I just don't have the heart to pull them out because they do give, oh, look at that tomato. Grasshoppers. They do give a lot of good fruit. I'll pull them out as I need the space. So let's see, let's find one that looks good. Oh, this is passion fruit. It's doing fantastic. I didn't think it would get this big this fast. I've got to get those transplanted out in the yard. I would like to have a whole wall of passion fruit along the front of my yard. See, look at all these nice tomatoes that are growing. Tiny but delicious. And they all have their own distinctive flavor. These were Sun Gold, but now they're second generation, so they're not true. They were a hybrid, but second generation came out pretty good. Here's the cucumbers, doing well. Man, do they go quickly. I harvested a half a dozen of them yesterday. And look at those guys. There's one there. There's a big one there that has to come off. There's a big one there that has to come off. And like I've said before, you got to keep on top of them. You can't let one set on there past its prime or it'll stop the plant from producing. There's Kai out there on the prow. What are you doing, Kai? The beets right there are really ready to harvest and pickle. The melon patch is looking good. Look at that big old, I think those are honeydews. Yeah, those are honeydews or cantaloupes. I can't tell. I haven't really walked over there. Well, that's a cantaloupe for sure. Oops. Right there. That's definitely a cantaloupe. But those are big. I can't see them getting much bigger, but I don't think they're ready to harvest yet. Munching down on these tomatoes are delicious. Not sure what that is. I think it's a pumpkin. This is a watermelon, but there's no watermelons on it right there. But I do have a watermelon over there that's about almost a foot long. Oh, there you can just barely see it. See if I can zoom in on my one watermelon. There it is. So hopefully I get a few more of those. I have not had a lot of success growing watermelon. I mean, the animals like them, but they don't ripen, or I don't know when to prick them, I should say, to make them to perfection. The pecan trees are doing fantastic. I just got to figure out a place to put these two, because these grow huge. These can grow 30 foot tall and, 30 foot wide too. That mystery pepper plant's doing wonderfully. That's ready to harvest. This was the other mystery plant, and you can see that it was green bell peppers. Oh man, look at the size of that one. That one's ready to harvest, most definitely. And look at this one little plant. Now this plant, look at that. That little plant's doing its job overtime. The rest of them are still pretty small, but I'm fully confident they will come on. They will get going. Oh, look at that one. Even that one's got a little, I'm gonna take that off there. Somebody got in there to eat it. Look at the peaches coming through. Of lots of peaches. Been harvesting those regularly, trying to get ahead of the curve. Kai, what are you doing there? Kai, come over here. That was her bottom. She's over there. She won't come through the wire. Here, the squash plant is doing wonderful. These are what the squash look like. I still haven't tried them. I've got a bunch of them in the refrigerator. I'm going to make a squash casserole, which is really delicious. You can put any meat of your choice in it and layer it like lasagna. I've got some pepperoni in there I think I'm going to do. So pepperoni, cheese, squash, layer it, bake it. Good stuff. The tomatoes are doing fair. I think it's almost been too hot in here. A couple of the tomato plants are not healthy. They need calcium. It's one more thing on the list. See, we're getting bloom rot. That's not good. But others are doing fantastic. This is up. What are you doing on there, little spider? Go on. These are San Marzano, one of the best paste tomatoes you can get. These are the tomatillos, and we're starting to see some grow, which is cool. Let's see that one. This little plant's just been attacked by aphids. Most of them grow out of it. This is what a tomatillo looks like. It's pretty good. That one should be okay. It's probably overripe. You see it's getting kind of hard on the outside. But I made some absolutely wonderful salsa with them already. Mix those with the fresh tomatoes. And we'll throw in some peppers too. There's some. Hope those are going well. Here's the two yellow squash plants. This is just two plants right here. And they're putting on fruit, but they're not finishing. This is what's happening. See that? How it's dried up? So they get about that big, dry up, and fall off. So there should be a ton of fruit in there, and there's just not. So something's preventing that. I'm really not sure what. So squash I have not had much success with this year. More tomatoes, of course, celery, and the blueberry starts or cuttings. These all have survived. That's really good. The ones I put in here after transplanting all died. It's too wet for them, so I learned a lesson there. Lost a dozen cuttings or so. That vine coming out there, that's a passion fruit. It's trying to escape, so I've got to get those planted. But the rest of these blueberries need to get into soil and get going. Matter of fact, the time's coming when I can go back over to the blueberry patch and take another set of cuttings. So I've got to get on top of that. And I think this is called amaranth, something like that. It's a grain, and that's what it looks like when it's tiny. And since I never transplanted these, you can see they went to seed, but that's a grain that'll grow, and it's supposed to be good for human consumption. Oh, there's some onion starts. So like I said, the passion fruit, they're all doing fantastic, need to be planted. Blueberries, here's another tomatillo, that just an extra. And there's just not that many gardeners out there. I thought all my friends would go crazy over the extra plants, and very few of them like to grow stuff. So I guess that's why farmers are in business. Oops, look at this puppy here. That's fully ripe. This, like, I call it a tiger tomato. I don't know what the technical one is, but these are delicious. These are from last year, and they're one of the best. Good stuff. The strawberries not producing anything right now, really, except a lot of runners. So I hate to see anything go to waste, so I'm sticking the runners in some soil. I'll have a bunch of extra strawberry plants. You can see over there. I don't know, maybe I'll put them on Marketplace. I'm sure there's a market for them. This time of year, most of the plants are gone. Another potato experiment. This was my lemon tree, and I don't know if you can see through the netting, but the grasshoppers just have eaten half the leaves off of it. So I decided to kick them out and cover it, and we'll see how it goes. I hope it doesn't get moldy in there. Tomato row, and we're back to the start. So pretty much everything. So much for the update on the high tunnel and onion starts. Much love and many blessings. Doc out.